Hello everybody and welcome back to another World of Warships Legends video. Today we're going to be playing the legendary tier French battleship the Bourgogne. For our command we are using Robert Georgard with a fairly standard setup consisting of flammable cannoneer, gyrating trilbits, marksmanship, reaching out XXL and fight fire with fire. For our inspirations we are just going to be running Angelo Iacchino and Ashley Scharnhorst. If you do not have Ashley Scharnhorst, Paolo Di Ravel or Andrew Cunningham will work just fine. For our upgrades, we're using aiming systems, obviously propulsion mod, concealment mod, and main battery reload mod. In terms of your actual statistics, you have 74,700 hit points standard with no hit point upgrades. I do believe this is the lowest of any legendary battleships, so you have to look out for that. But you do have 55% torpedo damage reduction, which is some of the best in the game, if not the best. I could be wrong. Your artillery is you have 12 15-inch guns, so you're not going to be overmatching a lot, so ships like Des Moines are going to be bouncing you pretty easily. Then you've got a pretty good range of 19.6, they reload pretty quickly, 25 seconds, as expected from 15-inch guns at legendary tier. Now if you can't overmatch a ship you are fighting, you can switch to the old high explosive. It does have a 36% fire chance, so you can set fires pretty reliably, but your AP will normally get the job done because it is French AP. It's got really good ballistics and it's got really good penetration, so to be honest the main caliber doesn't really matter that much. In terms of your EA, it's not really going to matter a lot because there aren't a lot of legendary carriers, but it is pretty good, so it will get the job done. You have a 29.7 knot top speed, which is pretty good, and you also have an engine boost, but we'll get to that when we come to it. You've got a 910 meter turning circle, which is pretty poor. Your concealment is well, it's 13.7. This is a fully upgraded camo. You get 13.7 kilometer detectability, which is obviously not very good, but this is a French ship, and well, they're not exactly known for having a very good detectability. Now your armor here is a very standard French battleship high tier. You're completely coated in 32, which is both a blessing and a curse, because of course you're going to be protected against any kind of battleship projectiles except Yamatos and Musashis. But it also means that you're going to be farmed by 8-inch high explosive a lot, which is a massive problem with this tier of ships like Des Moines, which I mentioned earlier, which obviously have quick reload, and you're going to get burnt down by those kind of ships really easily. So you've got your turrets here, which are, well, I don't know what it is about them. The armor isn't particularly bad. The turret face is 430, and the barbettes are pretty good, but they're quintessentially French. They get knocked out incredibly easily. Probably more so than even British turrets, but you can take like stray shells and your turrets can even be destroyed even if they haven't been damaged before, which is infuriating to be honest. Your superstructure is not the largest, but it's not particularly small, so you can still be farming from there. Do you have a nice 32mm torpedo bulkhead right here? So that also counts as spaced armor, I believe, so that just adds another layer of protection. Under that, of course, you have a citadel, which is just poking above the waterline, and you do have a kind of weird turtleback scheme here, which means that you're not going to be citadeled a lot, but you can be at close range. I have been citadeled for close range before, and of course you could citadel the Bourgogne from close range. Under the front turrets normally works if you're fighting it, like most French battleships. Now, in terms of your loadout here, this is where the ship truly shines, in my opinion. You've got the standard damage con, you've got a standard heal, nothing particular about that, but you have two main battery reload boosters. This lasts 15 seconds, which means it's about long enough to fire one salvo, get another salvo off, and have a reload part of your third salvo before it runs out. So it's really a two-shot reload booster here. You've got the engine boost, which you can swap out for secondaries, but your secondaries are, well, they're really bad, so just stick to the engine boost. It gives you that extra maneuverability, which is always really useful. And so with all of that out of the way, let's just hop straight into the gameplay.
Hot diggity dog! This place is magnificent. An embarrassment of riches, as they say.
So for our first game here, we are on the map with the name I can never pronounce. We have two destroyers team, and of course it's a down tier because we're legendary tier. Unfortunately, the enemy actually gets a tier 8 Tulsa, I think. I don't even know if we have any tier 8s this game. That might be kind of unfair. I don't really catch that. I can't remember the exact lineup of this game. So, of course, we're just going to head somewhere over to A here. Try and catch anybody sneaking over because our top speed is considerably faster than any other legendary battleship except... Oh, actually Schlieffen might outspeed this thing. So, how is Bourgogne really played? In my mind, it's Bourgogne. You can take Bourgogne into close quarters, but you don't have a lot of health, and your armour is particularly vulnerable to high explosive and battleships. So, honestly, I think this ship's more of a long range. It's, you know, you got to utilise that manoeuvrability, and the way you're going to do that, in my mind, is just by sitting further back. You're not going to be going in like at the one line or the A line or whatever the saying is. I actually got spotted there between the islands, so someone's sneaking around between those two on the right. So I'm already going to turn out here, and I'm going to put myself in a kiting position because that's where this ship really is at its best. You sit further back, you take the salvo, and because your shells are really quick, you should hopefully be taking the enemy by surprise, like we are doing with this Schlieffen here. We've taken a shot at him, and we hit him for 21k and disable one of his turrets. So we're just going to put as much distance between us and the Schlieffen as possible, because the Schlieffen is probably the most dangerous ship to us on the enemy team, because again, the ship's vulnerable to HE, it's going to be set on fire a lot. And, well, as I've said numerous times, using manoeuvrability, you've got to sit further back, so you've got enough time for dodging, should the enemy shoot back at you. Now our GK is going to shoot us here. Unfortunately we can't turn out as hard as we want to because of the Montana here, because, you know, grounding your allies is a bad thing. But he does not do any damage to us at all. 2 shells he does hit on us, they're too heavily angled, so they ricochet. I'm going to wait for this Tulsa to turn out on here before I take a shot. I hope that he keeps pulling his gamer turn, but he's going to pull back in, and I don't feel we're going to get anything out of this salvo. Nope, 3 ricochets there. As again, those 15-inch guns we have on the Bourgogne really aren't particularly helpful at that kind of thing. You can't overmatch the Tulsa because the Tulsa's coated in 27, so we just can't overmatch him anyway. If he ankles slightly, then we're not really going to be doing a lot of damage to him. Outside of the whole overmatch problem, though, this ship is really nasty against cruisers because, I mean, you got 12 guns. Okay, you've got 12 guns. As I said, the shells travel quickly. You shoot something and it can dodge, and if they try to like kite away or run or turn, you can always pop the reload booster and you can hopefully just absolutely demolish them. I'm gonna wait for this Worcester. This Worcester's focused on. We got 2 Yamatos down at the sea. I'll talk about them later. But they're not the best. Even well, I guess they do. They do win the side, but they don't play particularly well. I'm just trying to wait here for the Worcester to see if he's going to turn out. Also Schlieffen, see if he pushes. And of course the Worcester does turn out here, and I actually take the shot here. And the second I take the shot, he immediately slams on the brakes. And honestly, I don't think he saw my shot. I think it's because of those torpedoes there. He's actually slowed down. So unfortunately, we did not get the results we hoped for. But we have the reload booster, so we pop it. And because it's still more than broadside enough for us to get the Citadel on him here. And of course, we do. And we take him down to just above 5,000 health. So the Schlieffen's also pushing up here. I think he's sonar out destroyer, which is why he's getting shot at. We're going to take the shot here on the enemy Schlieffen. We get some pretty nice dispersion, but unfortunately the Schlieffen turns out slightly, and most of the shots fall short, apart from the one where we do get the Citadel on him. We're just going to turn around, always be in the position to flee in the ship. Actually, that's probably some bad advice. Scratch that. But obviously you should know when to run, and now this is just me on the Montana, who's on the map border. The odds are somewhat stacked against us here. I managed to take out Schlieffen with that salvo, which just takes it down to the Shima, the Worcester, the Tulsa, and the GK. Now the Tulsa is going to be annoying for just a little bit more here. We're just going to keep setting us on fire. we're just gonna do another shot at another gamer turning ship. Unfortunately, the GK superstructure is too big to the point where if he even tries to angle it, it's just not going to work. We hit him for about, what was that, about 15,000 damage there, so yeah. Going to take a, might take a shot on the Worcester, not the Worcester, sorry, the Tulsa. And I don't think we're going to get a lot out of it. Even if he turns and we actually catch him in a crossfire, which is what we're doing here. We're going to be setting up a crossfire with the Tulsa and the Worcester, so they both have to be either angling to me or the Montana, but they can't angle to us both at the same time. So in the process of trying to stay as angled to this Montana as possible, this Tulsa is going to be broadside to me here. Unfortunately, I don't have a good shot at him right now because the arm's kind of in the way. The Montana shell's coming in there. He smacks him for quite a good chunk. I don't think he's got any citadels though. So we unload our salvo. Unfortunately, no citadels. We get 4 overpens. It does do some decent damage, but not what we were really hoping for. Now, personally, if I was this Tulsa, I'd be having a gigantic brown pants moment, I believe, as Old Man Jingles would say. He tries to turn around and flee, but the Montana's got the salvo ready, and he citadels him and takes him out of the game there. So, if you haven't noticed, the enemy Shima has snuck into B, and I've realised this. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn out from behind this island, and I'm just going to do a complete 360 and then come back the way I came from to try and take out the GK and the Worcester. Our Shima, meanwhile, I think he's kind of completely just tunnel visioned on the enemy Yamato and doesn't really care about what's going on in B. So for now they have complete control of B because no one's going in there. The Montana takes out the Worcester, which is nice. We try to take a shot at the Yamato, it doesn't work. So unfortunately, I believe our Montana is finally going to go down here. Well played to him, he actually had a lot of helping. Colbert takes out the Yamato. The Colbert is going to be vital to winning this game. I think if it wasn't for the Colbert, he probably would have lost. And as you can see there, the Allied Montana has just gone down. So now I'm going to enter this 1v1 here with the enemy GK. Now I know I can win this fairly easily. Look, there's not that GK is a bad ship, but Bourgogne it's better. Let's not kid ourselves here. Bourgogne's better. So our Shima gets into a knife fight with an enemy Shima that was in B, and he's going to eat torpedoes. There it is, and I think I'm going to give him a nice thumbs up here. So that means the enemy now has both the cap and the point advantage, but they are down on ships. Their other remaining ship is a Khabarovsk, which is going to be pretty annoying. I think their Khabarovsk gets out Dreadnought this game actually. Because he's running a heel, which is really the only way to play Khabarovsk. So he's just kind of running around open water, gunboating out 2 Yamatos. And now we're going to pop the reload boost here on the broadside GK, do as much damage to him as possible whilst he's still broadside. But unfortunately, he does angle in here. We do start trying to shoot into the superstructure, but not a lot of these shots are going to do too much damage to him, unfortunately. As much as the ship has 12 guns and I guess they're kind of accurate, they still suffer from French dispersion, and yeah. So we've got 2 Yamatos down at the bottom. They've requested help from our Colbert, who fairly reasonably says no. But our Yamatos here are going to do a little pushing into both a Shima and a Khabarovsk. I don't know why, but they will. So our Colbert was firing a few shells at the enemy GK, I think. And we're going to take some shots here. We're within our own secondary range, it's about 5k now. I do open up here to try and get my rear turret into play, but unfortunately I take some unnecessary damage there. That's a problem on my part. And honestly, if that GK actually shot a bit further forwards, he very much could have citadeled us there, and that could have been nasty. But we managed to pick up the high caliber as well. This is one thing you notice about Bourgogne the more you play, is this Bourgogne, despite its small guns, I had a massive voice crack there, sorry about that. But despite its small guns, it's really, really good at slapping battleships around, like, really good. As in, I haven't really had less than 15k salvos on any battleships, I don't think. GKs and Schlieffens are ships it's very, very fond of feasting off. You know, no, actually all of them. All of the legendary battleships Bourgogne feasts upon. So if you get a, you know, a battleship and you see it in Bourgogne, just feast mode, go into feast mode, just activate feast mode. So oh, and there you go. So there goes our Yamato as well. I was waffling there, didn't see him. So our Yamato's died, and our other one is currently flooding to death because they decided to push into a Shimakaze, which isn't smart. Because I don't normally want to be too rude to these people, but I think they're in a division as well, so... I mean, what exactly went through their heads there, I don't really know, but... it's whatever, because we still end up winning this game. Because most of this game is now just going to be us trying to keep control of the caps, I'm just going to skip ahead a bit here, and... we're going to do a bit more damage to the enemy machine before the game ends, so I'll see you when that happens. So the enemy machine is a bit sneaky here, he's going to shoot at us just as the game ends, we're going to shoot back at him. And, well, the game ends there before our shells land on Shima, which is unfortunate. We managed to get 3,000 base XP at the top of the team. Well played to our Colbert, we probably couldn't have won it without him. My god, what's wrong with my voice? Couldn't win it without him. We've got 175,000 damage. So, pretty good, and on to the next game.
Feast mode activated. Hashtag hungry. FeedMeMore.com.
So here we are on our second map on Crash Zone. We have a perfectly balanced game with 3 of each ship type, so... it's pretty nice, and honestly kind of rare nowadays. On the high tiers, you normally just see hordes of battleships, or sometimes hordes of cruisers. Hell, even hordes of destroyers turn up sometimes. Anyway, so we spawned middle spawn. Now, normally I'd turn right here, and go south, or turn left, and go north. To one of the flat caps. But I'm just going to decide to stay here. I'm just going to get some nice crossfires, hopefully at enemies over at A. Our destroyer's smoking us there, I don't know why. Can't even remember what Chungmi does. If I haven't made this very clear, I absolutely love this ship. The ship is the love of my life. I think this is the best legendary ship. Well, legendary battleship, I should say. This is the best legendary battleship. Not in terms of actual power, because things like, I'd say Yamato, Conqueror, and even legendary Mod Montana are just stronger than this ship. But I say the ship's the best because it's one of only like 2 that don't have balancing issues. The other one being Schlieffen. Because the ship's got strengths, it's got weaknesses, but its strengths ultimately prevail over its weaknesses. Because this ship's guns are just chef's kiss, I guess is the way to describe it. We've got Yamato sitting out at, well, 19.5 kilometers here. We're going to accelerate a bit. We know we're going to get spotted if we fire, because again, we destroy us with our smoke firing penalty, so we're just going to take the shot anyway, see what that does to the Yamato. And we do get the Citadel there, already up to 24,000 damage for the first salvo. Enemy Worcester turns up, but I decided not to use my reload booster here, because I'm already just almost done reloading. But we're going to get the front guns off just as he goes under text. And I don't want to waste the rear gun there. I want to blind fire. We almost get torpedoed by that destroyer, who I think just launched torps into the caps. We managed to pick up the Citadel on the Worcester there, which is a rare sight indeed. I think the gun size might even have something to do with that, to be honest. You don't see Worcesters getting Citadel a lot. And you know it, the Worcester turns up yet again. He's reversing, and he obviously hasn't learned his lesson from last time for some reason. So we take the shot here on the Worcester, and in hindsight, I should have used my reload booster here, because, well, you'll know what happens when I see it. When you see it, you'll know why. But we managed to get the massive smash on him for 2 citadels, which takes him down to about 5,000 health. I don't know what it is with this ship. Citadeling Worcester seems like kind of a trend, which normally most ships can't do because, well, Worcester. It's some kind of Worcester nonsense. We're just going to do a quick scab at horizon here, looking for any good targets, because I naturally don't want to shoot the Yamato. Because, I mean, with 15-inch guns, I'm not going to damage him. All I'm going to do is piss him off. So I'll just take a shot at the Hayato here. We're going to do about 3k to him. So, now we're going to push up a bit. To my knowledge, there's only the Yamato that's properly threatening this cap. If we know one of the enemy destroyers in the sea, but we don't know where the other one is. And since I'm only really being spotted, I'm now being spotted by the Yamato, actually. So, I'm assuming the destroyer is far away. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and push up into B, try and take the cap, because hopefully that will force the Yamato towards us, which will make him an easy target. So we just fire the guns there, load the HE, because, I mean, firing AP at an angled Yamato is futile. And enemy Yamato absolutely slaps our A gear and essentially just kills him immediately. Now, the enemy Yamato just so happens to turn completely flat broadside when we load the high explosive. So we're going to pop the reload booster and we're going to get ready to throw an AP salvo into him, which will hopefully be a lot more devastating, shall we say. Worcester sets us on fire twice, so I'm not having that put it out. And unfortunately, French dispersion does not allow us to hit the citadel. I think they all went too high there. Our enemy Yamato here is just going to eat some torpedoes. I accidentally dodged torpedoes myself from the enemy destroyer, who is over here, but he's just at the back of the map or something somewhere. I don't know. And enemy Worcester, he momentarily turns up, and we'll take the snapshot here. Which, I mean, I was hoping this would kill him, but unfortunately it doesn't, and he gets away. And let's be honest, this Worcester's got away with murder twice now. Oh, 3 times, since he's still alive. And here's the fatal mistake of me not using the reload booster previously, because the Worcester, still alive, is now unfortunately going to kill the Changmu. We do get our revenge though, and we are just going to citadel him here, and we're going to take him out. But our Changmu does not survive the encounter, unfortunately. So this leaves us, this game, kind of in a balance. It's a pretty tough spot now. They've got points, and once I get this cap, we're going to be tied on caps as well. A is still completely contested. We've got a Yamato, but they've got a Minotaur over there at the same time. Now, our Yamato, he's going to be a not useful, because what our Yamato here is going to do, instead of like trying to push into A, because the destroyer's not over there, because, well, he's just been spotted up north, he's all gone all the way around to C, which means the Yamato now knows that there's nobody left there except the Minotaur, which the Yamato can easily push out of the cap should the Mino even try to take it. But unfortunately, our Yamato is instead going to do a 360 no-scope spin or something. I'm watching on a minimap right now in a replay. I didn't even notice he's going to do this, but knowing where he heads, this guy's just going to do a complete 360 and he's going to head north. Anyway, enough about him. So what I'm doing here is I'm just angling away. We get a nice Bourgogne smash there for 25k. I'm just trying to get some crossfires into C to try and stake out the Grosser Kurfürst and the enemy destroyer that's in there. The enemy gearing does get spotted here, and we are going to take the shot. And we don't apply quite enough lead, but the shot is still going to be devastating enough, just completely half-healthing that gearing there. And remember to shoot destroyers. That's my tip of the day. Shoot your guns. Now we are going to get turned around here because I want to support C, because I hope that our Yamato can take A by himself, but hint hint wink wink, he's not going to. Our Pullman does die there. He's doing the typical German battleship player thing of just killing himself for no reason. So we get our guns turned around here, not quite quickly enough to get a shot on the gross curfews. And, well, so we got a destroyer, and honestly, well played to our destroyer, because I don't think he really does anything wrong this game. But the enemy gross curfews is now pushing in towards us, so we're going to angle out in preparation for him trying to take B here. And also the enemy Minotaur turns up, and our Yamato immediately shoots the GK instead of the broadside Minotaur, because Yamatos. We're just going to quickly discharge our rear gun here, and we're going to get... I believe this is where we get absolutely... just nope, nope, all your shells are falling short. Haha. Ha 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 ha. So we just fire our main guns here. He just stops randomly. I'm not really sure why. I was kind of expecting him to keep moving forwards or something whilst he smokes, but well, he just doesn't. We just fire our gun again because, well, why not? Might as well. Maybe try and get a nice cheeky hit on him there. So we're just gonna get all of our guns round. This gross curfeus, I don't think he's gonna take the cap. So the destroyer actually shoots him there, I think, and he resets him. And also our Shimakaze just killed the enemy gearing. I'm not really sure how, but he did. So that's a +1 to him, because that's another enemy destroyer off the board. But unfortunately, it means that because the enemy Shima, we now know the Shima's on B, so we can't really get B anymore. So we're kind of being forced to go away. We do take a torp here from the enemy Shima, but we managed to take it on the belt, so it doesn't do a lot of damage. The Yamato does the same, except he manages to eat a bajillion torpedoes, and he dies. We take a blind shot here at the enemy Minotaur. We hit one shell, get a citadel, and then hit another one and get another citadel and get the blind fire kill there. Trust me, mate, I know what that feels like. I've experienced some enraging blind fire before. So unfortunately, after we fire, this GK is going to get another fire on us, so well, we're not going to get any more damage after this shot on the GK, because, spoiler alert, we're actually going to lose this game. The enemies are ahead on points and they've got the bases, and we're not going to be able to catch the Shima in time, so I'm just going to jump ahead to the end of this battle. So, yeah, honestly, GG's to the enemy Shima here. Unfortunately for us, he wasn't stupid. And he really just kind of ran around getting C, and well, we never caught up on points, and of course we can't catch up to him because he's Shima and he's lightning quick. So unfortunately, this is going to end the game in a defeat. We also just scored below the magical 200,000 number, which is also unfortunate. And we reached milestone 60 though, that's nice. I think I remember at this point I was just holding my head in my hands. We get 2,500 base XP, that's more than the top scoring member of the enemy team. And you can almost see in how slow my movements are at this point to get 196,000 damage on a loss in a classic legendary move. So I think with that over, we go to the conclusion for today's video. So with that all being said, should you get Bourgogne? Absolutely. Honestly, if I think you don't have this ship and you're not getting it right now, you're doing yourself a disservice and an injustice, and you should be getting this ship immediately. Okay, jokes aside, this ship is as I said, it's got its strengths, it's got its weaknesses, it's balanced well, and it's still an absolutely fantastic ship. Honestly, if you like the French battleships, you'll feel right at home, and even if you don't like the regular French battleships, then to be honest, yeah, it shouldn't really make a difference. This ship's, it's great, it's fast, it's got good guns, it's just overall strong, powerful, just like every other legendary battleship, except maybe GK who said that. So, if you liked the video, then do please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Toodaloo, au revoir, bye bye.